You know, he was the pride of Jamaica, and every time he entered the ring, he was always there and there with bad intentions. A world champion in 3 different divisions, almost in the 4th. But when Mike McCallum was part of what, like, the last golden era of the super middleweights, he really drove the division and Toney and the other contenders nuts with his style. Now, he competed for 16 years from 81 to 97. He had held world titles in 3 different weight classes, including the WBA super middleweight title from 84 to 88, the WBA middleweight crown from 89 to 91, and the WBC light heavyweight title from 94 to 95. Now, his passing will be mourned like you wouldn't believe. 68. That's too short a life. He was a slick, hard-hitting technician in the ring. McCallum was known for his exceptionally durable chin and toughness, and was never stopped in any of his 5 losses, all by decision. He earned his nickname of the Bodysnatcher due to his ability to land vicious body punches in fights. He was inducted in the IBHF, International Boxing Hall of Fame, in 2003. In 2011, the Ring magazine ranked him as 8th on their list as the 10 best middleweight title holders of the last 50 years from 1961 onward. Now, he competed as a welterweight in the world title event in Havana, losing by a 3rd round TKO to Clint Jackson of the States. This was part of his impressive record of 240 victories and 10 losses. He won welterweight silver at the 74 Central American and Caribbean Games. He represented Jamaica at the 75 Pan Ams, represent Jamaica as a welterweight at the Montreal Olympics, getting to the 3rd round, no pun intended. He was the 77 National AAU welterweight title holder, defeating Marlon Starling in the semifinals and Roger Leonard of the Air Force in the final. He was a National Golden Gloves welterweight champion in 77. He won welterweight gold at the 78th Central American and Caribbean Games. Now, where he came to huge prominence, he was very popular champion at the Commonwealth Games in Edmonton in 78 when he won welterweight. He also won the gold medal at the 78th Central American and Caribbean Games. He was a National Golden Gloves welterweight champion, defeating Doug DeWitt and Robbie Sims in 79. He was the welterweight silver medalist at the Pan Ams in San Juan in 79, losing to Andreas Adama in the final by knockout. He was a National Golden Gloves welterweight title holder in 79, and he lost to Alex Ramos in the New York Golden Gloves in 1980. Now, at light middleweight, he turned pro in 81. As a professional, he fought almost exclusively in the States. He first became a world champion in 84 by defeating Sean Mannion to win the vacant WBA super welterweight title. McCallum would defend that title 6 times, winning all 6 by knockouts. His first prominent opponent was future 2-weight world champion and future Boxing Hall of Fame member Julian Jackson, who McCallum fought in his 3rd title defense. McCallum survived some punishment the 1st round and came back to stop the undefeated Jackson in the 2nd. McCallum really came to prominence when he knocked out a former WBC welterweight title holder Milton McCrory and former undisputed world welterweight champion, another International Boxing Hall of Fame member, Donald Curry, in 87. Curry was sent on all 3 scorecards going to the 5th round when McCallum knocked him out with what some call a perfect left hook, and that's, of course, on YouTube. You can check it out. In 88, he moved up to welterweight, suffering his first defeat, a clear unanimous decision, in an attempt to win the WBA middleweight championship from Sumbo Kalambay. In 89, McCallum defeated Harold Graham by split decision to win the then vacant WBA middleweight crown, which was stripped from Kalambay for signing to face IBF champion Michael Nunn. He defended the title 3 times, defeating Steve Collins, Michael Watson, and Kalambay in a rematch. Now, McCallum's big fight, of course, when he fought IBF middleweight title holder James Toney in 91. McCallum was stripped of the WBA title before the bout. The fight ended in a draw, and McCallum lost the 2nd fight by a controversial majority decision the following year. Some felt that McCallum had won both fights, but Jones got hometown decision. Now, in the light heavyweight division, he moved up two categories and won the WBC interim light heavyweight title against Randall Yonker, then won the full WC title by opponent toughhead Jeff Harding in 94. Being in his late 30s, he did not hold the crown long, losing the title to Fabrice Tuozo. At 40 years of age, he attempted to regain the vacant interim WBC title against Roy Jones Jr. December 96, but lost a wide decision. In his last fight, He lost a rubber match to James Toney via unanimous decision in a cruiserweight bout. So he took on Roy Jones and James Toney and was not knocked out. Hard fucking head. Now, his final professional record was an excellent 49-5-1. So as it stands right now, ladies and gentlemen, as an amateur and a pro, he almost won 300 fights. He was never knocked down as a pro. After McCallum retired, he moved to Las Vegas and became a trainer, and was inducted to the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2003. So 49 wins, 36 by knockout, 13 by decision, 5 losses all by decision, of course, that controversial draw. Now, another key fight towards the end of his career was a unanimous decision against Ali Saidi in Dortmund, Germany, which was internationally broadcast. But Ring Magazine really promoted him through the years. They call him the uncrowned champ for that long. But to take on James Toney, I think Toney's record at the time was undefeated, and at the time McCallum was 42-1-1. So the Kalambay fight was a tough one as well, and still most of the decisions he lost, either he was outmatched or was a bad, like I said, a bad decision. Now you're probably saying, how can you win Golden Gloves and fight at the Pan Ams in the Commonwealth Games and all that? Well, I mean, dual citizen. Look at Trevor Berbick, Bernardo Mercado, people like that. So again, WBA light middleweight champion, WBA middleweight champion, and WBC light heavyweight title holder. Almost won the cruiserweights, and he was also the WBC interim light heavyweight champion at 175. So 3.5 titles in a great career. Now he do a lot of his fights at the Felt Forum, at the Court of Six in Hall, MSG a few times, Playboy and Casino in New Jersey, Paris, again very popular in France. So ladies and gentlemen, Mike McCallum, handsome guy, tough guy. Ring Magazine once asked him, he said, "What do you like about boxing?" Well, he said, "I like the money. I don't like the pain, but I like the money." So, I mean, that sums it up right there. But he's the connection, ladies and gentlemen, to James Toney, Roy Jones Jr., all the big, middleweights. And because at 154, it's not a big jump to 165, or from 165, it's not a big jump to 175 or even under 190. So, I mean, a person in his height could put on a lot of pounds. Now, we have to remember, the only thing you can compare that he moved up similar power was Roberto Duran. Like, he was 6 feet tall. So, devastating at 156, effective at 160, very, very good at super middleweight and light heavyweight, losing a little bit of power. And but the Bodysnatcher, boys, oh boys, I remember that. He said, "Michael Buffer, please welcome the Bodysnatcher, Mike McCallum." And what's interesting about this, ladies and gentlemen, the WBA and WC couldn't really get along for years. And it's kind of ironic that it really didn't matter too much. But look at the fighters of his era. You got Roger Leonard, Donald Curry, Julian Jackson, Reggie Johnson, Roy Jones Jr., Fabrice Tozio. And he was named, of course, the Jamaican Sportsman of the Year. Let me see what year it was again. Let me find that for you. He's Jamaican Sportsman of the Year for the men, 84, 85, 86, 87, 1990. So the pride of Jamaica, very, very... And of course, that takes a lot, because now with athletics, he was the last boxer to win the Jamaican Sportsman of the Year. No joke. So, it's just tremendous. Because now, Nicholas Walters, I apologize. I made a little mistake. But besides Walters, he's the only one. But Usain Bolt won this award 7 times, and McCallum won it 7 times as well. So you're up there, Usain Bolt. So just tremendous. So Mike McCallum, friends, family, colleagues, we're going to miss your brother. If you like what we're doing to our tributes to high-end boxing prospects and champions, and I do remember there was one fight, I think it was Nazi pay-per-view on TSN, And we're at a bar in Campbellton. The guy said, "Who's that?" I said, "You're going to find out who's that." I think it was a Chiozo fight. And they found out who Mike McCallum was. He'll be greatly missed. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you're doing here, what are our various sports podcasts, give us a like, comment, subscribe, or share. And don't forget requests are highly appreciated and always highly considered. Have a good one. Bye.